The live streaming has commenced, Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening, councillors, officers, and our viewers live streaming tonight's meeting. My name is Councillor Suzanne Newton. I'm the Mayor of Darebin City Council and the chairperson of tonight's meeting. It's my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's council meeting, and I declare the meeting open at 6:01 p.m. The meeting is being held virtually and is available for the public to watch via the live stream link on council's webpage. A recording will be made available on the council website as soon as practical after the meeting. Please note that public question time and submissions have been suspended at all council meetings during the election period in accordance with the government's rules and election period policy. Item 2 is the acknowledgement of traditional owners. I would like to start by acknowledging the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people, the traditional owners of this land, and I pay my respects to elders past and present and recognise their continuing connection to land, water and culture. Next, we have membership. I would like to introduce the councillors and senior staff who are with us this evening. We have Councillor Tim Lawrence, Councillor Tom Hannon, Councillor Trent McCarthy, Councillor Lena Messina, and we have Councillor Julie Williams. And I believe we are still waiting on the other councillors. I haven't had any apologies as yet. Our officers in attendance tonight are Michael Tudball, the interim CEO. Welcome, Michael, to your first meeting. We have Anna Jampipolo, the acting general manager, customer and corporate. Rachel Olivier, infrastructure, operations and finance general manager. Joe Smale, the acting general manager of community. Vanessa Petrie, the general manager of city sustainability and strategy. And Felicity Walsh, the interim manager, governance and communications. Item 3 is apologies, and I have received no apologies so far. I'll go to item 4, which is declarations of conflict of interest. Councillors and officers, are there any conflicts of interest or any interest to declare? No, I'm seeing shaking heads, so I'll go back to the running sheet. And welcome, Councillor Rennie. We have item 5, the confirmation of the previous minutes. Councillors, could I please have a mover for the adoption of the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 16th of September 2024? I'll take Councillor Rennie moved and Councillor Williams second. That's who I've seen first. We'll go straight to the vote for that one. All those in favour? That is carried unanimously. And we will now go on to item 6, which is Council's occupational health and safety responsibilities. Council has an occupational health and safety responsibility to ensure anyone attending tonight's meeting feels safe, both physically and emotionally. It's great to see everyone here this evening, and I would like to remind everyone in attendance to be respectful of each other, and as outlined in our governance rules, please note the following. A councillor or any other person who addresses the meeting must do so in a courteous and respectful manner and must take direction from the chairperson whenever called on to do so. Any member of the public physically attending a meeting must not utter any offensive, indecent, insulting or objectionable items or words, including words that are racist, sexist or homophobic, or interject or gesticulate offensively in the council chamber. Silence must be preserved by the gallery at all times during the meeting, other than by a person in the gallery who is invited to address the meeting. And if any member of the public engages in conduct that is improper or disorderly, the chairperson may direct that person to cease their conduct and the person must comply with that action. And as we are in the election period, councillors, I'll be permitting questions of officers seeking clarity on any agenda item prior to the commencement of debate. If I think sufficient questioning has occurred, I'll exercise my right under the governance rules to limit questions and ask the debate to commence. And I would also like to remind councillors that as we are currently in the caretaker period and in accordance with the election period policy, councillors will limit their discussion during debate to the topic under consideration and will avoid raising any electoral matter where possible. We'll now go to the consideration of reports, and the only report we have to consider this evening is 7.1, the Darebin City Council Annual Report for the 2023-2024 year. And councillors, do we have any questions regarding this item? Councillor Messina.
I didn't have my hand up, but I'm happy. Oh, I didn't realise I had my hand up. Apologies, Mayor. But I will ask a question. In general, it's about the open. I don't even know if I'm allowed to ask this question, so I'll be directed by governance. We know that Preston Central is going to be a business activity centre and there's going to be a lot of construction, and open space levy and build to rent might see developers not pay that open space levy. How does council address financially in its recordings and annual reports moving forward in terms of the open space collected per region and expenditure per region? Is that something I'm allowed to ask tonight? I don't know.
My sense would be no, as about a future annual report, not the current one we're talking about, but I'll go over to Felicity if you'd like to clarify.
Just to confirm that because it does relate to a future annual report, it wouldn't be permissible to ask that question.
Thank you, Felicity.
Thank
Councillor
you.
Messina, do you have any questions about the current annual report?
No.
Thank
No,
you.
thank you.
Have we got any further questions about the current item? Not seeing any. Okay, in that case, we'll move to a motion. Councillors, do we have a mover of the motion? Councillor Hannan, are you moving the officer's recommendation?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder for the officer's recommendation? Councillor Coffey, Councillor Hannan, I'll go to you to move the item. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor Newton. This item is really an official endorsement of the annual report as a publication, and the substance of this, the material behind the performance indicators and the financial report were actually already endorsed by council at our last meeting. So in one sense, this decision tonight is a formality, but actually it's an opportunity, I think, to take in a holistic way the totality of council's work over the last year. I won't go into detail into either the financial or performance reports other than just to mention a few highlights and say that at a higher level, sort of a summary level, in terms of finances, the majority of the ratios are in the right direction. They're at or above expectations from VAGO, the Victorian Auditor General's Office. The balance sheet in terms of our assets and liabilities is in good shape, and the operating budget is at a small surplus, which is also good. So in general, I think that this being the last report of our term, I'm proud to say that this council has left future councils in a good financial position. In terms of the performance, look, I'd really encourage people to go through and have a look at the report. It's well set out. It's a really good summary of who Darebin is, who the council is, and what we've achieved. Overall satisfaction and engagement is up. Things like, practical things like turning around of planning applications is significantly up. Staff turnover has significantly reduced. There's a lot of other highlights, and for the sake of time, I won't go in them other than just to say a huge thank you to all staff who've been involved in putting together this report and the work that they do year in, year out. It's really commendable. And I suppose I would just finish on behalf of all residents and businesses in Darebin, and for Northcote and West Scarth residents, which I represent, Idols, just say that we have the chance to turn the pages over. We can write what we want to write. We've got to make ends meet before we get much older. We're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. How long can we look at each other down the barrel of a gun?
Right on time, Councillor Hannan, thank you. Wasn't expecting that. And we'll go over to Councillor McCarthy as the seconder.
Mayor, I'll just reserve my right. I need to deal with Councillor Hannon's speech and how I want to follow up on that one.
No problem. Have we got any other speakers to the report? Councillor Lawrence.
Yes, I just mindful. Just wanted to speak in favour of noting and adopting this annual report, which reports back on the historical what's happened in the past. Obviously, it's a little bit hard in the election period for some of us who are restanding, but obviously, pleased to see progress on John Hall Pavilion, noted as one of the key highlights. That's had planning inside this budget, but it also highlights that it's a $2.7 million project to refresh that John Hall Stadium, Kingsbury, and also note the Dole Reserve wetlands, which is coming together, which is overall a $3.9 million project, which actually reintroduces ecological values to the area there, which has been sort of blank paddocks since the 60s. So that's really important ecological thing because it's actually going to attract water birds, etc., which live close by in Bundoora Park, but it'll bring that ecology right into the urban area and open up, experiences for residents in terms of that kind of ecology. So they're, significant projects that are mentioned in this annual report, but obviously they're part of ongoing capital works. And I'll just briefly, talk on the overall financial point of view. Darebin has gone through a journey the last 2 years, which is post doing the greatest and largest capital works projects we've done. And that has caused us to have to operate with some fiscal restraint. So some of the capital works has been lesser in these last 2 years. But the overall plan, of course, to stick to these annual plans is to get to having a more robust capital works program in the next 2 years. So we are, I hope, the staff and obviously all the councillors understand we're still on a journey in terms of managing that large expenditure and also slowly increasing our capital works. But we have done that while maintaining probably the widest range of services of any council, apart from Melbourne City Council, of course, in Victoria.
Thank you, Councillor Lawrence. Do we have further speakers to the annual report? No, I'll go back to you, Councillor McCarthy, as the seconder.
No worries at all, Mayor. Look, I'm a bit inspired by Councillor Hannon, so I just put something together that really acknowledges the work of council staff in putting together this annual report, but also the work that they do each and every day, which we get to talk about a lot. So, Mayor, in administration, they lead with great care. Admins, customer service and records to share. And exec assistants, they keep things on track, supporting the council with no looking back. In planning, the planners design every space, while building surveyors keep homes in their place. Development officers check all that's new, and heritage teams keep the old in clear view. Community workers help people in need. With youth and aged care, their hearts truly lead. Social planners chart futures with thought, and disability support never is bought. The environmental team makes things bright, with health, biodiversity all in their sight. Sustainability, waste kept in line, with public health officers help us feel fine. Engineers build roads that withstand any test. The asset managers maintain the rest. Project managers oversee work to completion, and transport planners plan routes with precision. In parks, the coordinators tend to the green, with arborists pruning the trees so serene. Recreation planners design play for all, and landscape architects craft nature's call. In finance, the numbers are handled with care by officers, rates and auditors there. Governance teams keep it all in control, ensuring the council achieves every goal. In arts, events make the community thrive, with culture officers keeping it alive. Curators preserve what's old and what's new, and library assistants help learning pursue. Rangers and officers ensure rules are sound, with parking and animals kept safe and round. Compliance teams watch to maintain all the laws, ensuring we all live with minimal flaws. In IT, the systems are kept up and right by support officers working all night, with communications spreading the word and GI analysts mapping each bird. HR officers care for the team, with payroll ensuring the paychecks are clean. Training coordinators help all to grow, building skills that the council will show. Mayor, if I can just take a little bit longer, if that's okay. Economic development paves the way, with business liaison guiding the day. Tourism officers boosting the name of Darebin, a place that is earning its fame. They're taking on climate, responding with speed, from cycling improvements to mobility's need. They're rewilding parks, letting nature reclaim, transforming our streets, reshaping the game. They manage drains, keep the floods at bay, planning for heat waves on a hot summer's day. With sustainability in every call, they act for the future, protecting us all. In aged care, they offer support and a hand, ensuring our elders can live lives well planned. And the libraries open a world to explore, while learning and reading unlocking every door. They work with First Nations elders in pride, honouring wisdom that's deep and wide. In multicultural strength, they stand tall, welcoming newcomers, supporting them all. From trees in the streets to the paths we now ride, Darebin's commitment is bursting with pride. For every small step, they're thinking ahead to tackle the challenges we may in fact face with dread. Thank you to the council officers who have done an extraordinary job in the past 12 months and over my 16 years on council. I respect you, I love you, I think you're amazing, and just remember that your work is valued and loved by our community. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor McCarthy. That was beautiful. And I can't really follow that up, but I would also like to thank our 1,200 staff for their incredible work over this annual report. And I would also like to particularly thank our outgoing councillors for outstanding again. So thank you very much. And councillors will put this item to the vote. So all those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much, councillors, and thank you for that poetic debate. So we will now go to item 8, urgent business, and I'll just check that there's no urgent business. Thank you. So we'll go on to item 9, consideration of reports considered confidential. Councillors, there are no confidential reports to be considered this evening. We now have item 10, closed meeting. As there is no other business to consider this evening, I would like to take this moment to acknowledge that this is the last council meeting for the council group. Thank you all for your commitment over the last 4 or more years, and I wish the best of luck to all the candidates in the election and to the incoming council. I now declare the meeting closed at 6:18 p.m. Thank you and good night, councillors, officers, members of the public in attendance, and viewers live streaming tonight's meeting. And I now request for the live streaming to cease.